Thinking about going back to college, wondering how long it'll take, if you can juggle it with work and what it'll really cost. Here's the thing. When most people talk about college expenses, they focus on tuition. But tuition is just the tip of the iceberg. The hidden costs, the unexpected fees, and the financial stress that can hit you in ways you weren't prepared for. It's not just about what shows up on your bill, but what it actually takes to get you across the finish line. I'm Aisha with Degree Hacks, and today we're going to have an honest conversation about the true cost of earning a degree and how using transfer credit strategically can help you avoid some of the biggest money traps along the way. When you look at a college website, they usually list tuition per credit hour or per semester. It might say something like $400 per credit or $12,000 a year. But what's not always obvious is what the price doesn't include. For adult learners like you, people with families, full-time jobs, or other responsibilities, the real cost can be much higher. Let's say you need 120 credits to graduate. At $400 a credit, that's already $48,000. But that's just the base tuition. You still need to factor in course materials, student fees, lab fees, technology fees, parking fees, proctoring fees, and sometimes even graduation fees. And depending on the school, those extras can add thousands to your total. Now, add textbooks. Some classes still require traditional books that cover over $100. If you're taking 4 or 5 classes a term, those costs can snowball quickly. Then there's the cost of time. Every hour you spend in class or commuting is an hour you might have to take off of work, pay for childcare, or push your other responsibilities aside. That kind of strain adds up, not just financially, but emotionally and mentally too. The longer it takes you to finish your degree, the more money you're spending overall. But also, the longer you wait, the longer it takes to qualify for that promotion, land that better paying job, or move into a more stable career. That lost income, that delay in earning more is something economists call opportunity cost. And it's something most adult learners feel in a very real way. If your program drags out for 4 or 5 or 6 years because you're limited to a traditional schedule or forced to retake general education courses, then you're not just spending more, you're earning less in the meantime. It's frustrating. And honestly, it's one of the top reasons many adults end up giving up halfway through. Not because they aren't smart or capable, but because the timeline just doesn't work. Here's a cost most people don't talk about: the emotional toll. If you're working, raising a family, and already stretched thin, adding rigid class schedules and in-person requirements can push you over the edge. It might mean cutting work hours, missing your time with your kids, feeling like you're always behind. That pressure adds up fast. It's a big reason many adults stop, not because they can't do the work, but because college wasn't built for their reality. Let's clear up a common misconception. A lot of people think that once you choose a college, you have to take every single class through that school. But that's not always true. In fact, many accredited colleges and universities accept transfer credit. This means you can take general education or foundational classes somewhere else and apply those credits towards your degree. Because now you can take the same course, like Intro to Psychology or College Algebra, but for a fraction of the cost on your own schedule and without paying all those added fees. You can complete it faster or often in just a few weeks and move on to the next requirement. Platforms like study.com, Sophia Learning, and StraighterLine were built for this exact purpose. They offer affordable, self-paced college-level courses that are designed to transfer to partner schools. By using these platforms strategically, you can knock out multiple general education requirements before you even enroll or while you're enrolled, and save you serious time and money in the process. Then when you enroll at your chosen college, you're showing up already ahead of the game. You've reduced your total credit load, cut your tuition bill, and probably avoided a few logistical headaches along the way.
I don't have a headache. I'm just preparing.
Here's another thing most people don't realize until they're deep into a degree plan. Many colleges require you to take a certain number of credits from their school to graduate. That's fair, but some schools try to maximize their revenue by pushing you to retake classes you've already passed somewhere else, or by making it hard to transfer in credit. That's why it's so important to do your homework up front. Ask how many credits they'll accept and what kinds of courses qualify, and whether they work with any low-cost transfer credit providers. Some schools are very transfer-friendly, others not so much. When you find a school that supports transfer credit, you're not just saving money. You're cutting through the bloats. You're avoiding repetitive classes, long prerequisites, and unnecessary delays, because as an adult learner, you don't have time or money to waste.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You need a degree plan that's lean, affordable, and fast. That's exactly what transfer credit allows you to create. Let's say you use transfer credit to knock out 10 general education classes. If each class saves you even $600 compared to taking it through university, that's $6,000 saved. That's real money. That's a semester or more of tuition you don't have to pay. And that saving goes even further when you consider the time saved, the lower need for student loans, and the reduced stress of managing it on a tight schedule. You're not cutting corners. You're being strategic. You're choosing a smarter, more efficient way to meet the same goals without putting yourself under unnecessary financial pressure. Of course, not all transfer credit providers are created equal. Some online platforms or credit options may not be accepted by your target school. Some schools may claim to accept credit, but then throw up roadblocks once you try to enroll. That's why it's so important to protect yourself by asking questions, getting approvals in writing, and looking for transfer guarantee programs whenever possible. Don't fall into vague promises or pressure to enroll too quickly. Take your time, verify everything, and make sure every step you take moves you closer to your degree, not into deeper debt. Your time, your money, and your future are too important to gamble with. Here's the truth. College should never be a financial trap. But for too many adults, the traditional college system feels like it's designed to keep them out, either by pricing them out or by burning them out. Transfer credits is one of the best tools you can use to change that. This is your education, and you get to take ownership of it. Using transfer credit is one of the most practical and powerful ways to build a degree plan that works for you. You've already taken the hardest step. Hit that like button if any of this helped you out, and subscribe to this channel to check out my other videos for more ways to hack your degree. Thanks for watching.